Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Angry Cast and Fallout Shelter 2022. It's Thanksgiving time. Yay! Hold on while we load up this thing again. Just give me a moment, please. Hold on. Okay, we're getting in there. Hold on a second. It's all going to happen. There we are. There we are. Oh, yes. The themes are back. There's a turkey on the TV. Turkey decorations. The cornucopia is there. We've got a wonderful turkey dinner on the table. Is that pumpkin pie? Oh, yes, it is. We are here. Everything's great. And we're going to do the Thanksgiving quests because we have not done them in this particular vault. I was actually going to apply the party theme because that finally got created in my crafting room. But because it's Thanksgiving, this just happened. Might as well get it done. And this will come out today, a week before Thanksgiving. So that's why we're going to do it. So let's get to it, shall we? My experience with cars has been touchy, to say the least. Growing up, we had some hand-me-down cars mostly. I remember my mom drove a silver Maverick with black seats that would sear your ass on a hot summer day. And my dad drove a late 70s or 1980 Chevy Custom Deluxe truck, blue. Those vehicles lasted into the mid to late 80s, maybe even early 90s. And my siblings drove them until they inherited another vehicle, usually from my great aunt, whenever she got a new one. She was one of those older generation ladies who paid cash and didn't trade the previous vehicle in. In fact, at one point, I think each one of us kids drove an aunt-me-down car. But eventually, we all grew up and we were able to buy a new car of our own. My brother, when he got his first post-college job, bought an Eagle Talon, brand new. My sister, a Ford Explorer. And me, a 2006 Malibu Max wagon. In fact, since 2006, I have bought a brand new car every time I needed one. And therefore, I've probably had a car payment in some form for the last 16 years. I will say that having a new car has cut down on the maintenance of having to cobble together a working vehicle from other parts of their cars, but it's expensive in other ways. Now, Megan has had similar issues that I have had before. I think we all go through this. I mean, you get a pre-owned vehicle because you need one, but not necessarily want to own a payment. As you get older, you're able to afford a better car with better, long-term longevity. But for the most part, you're just buying, one used car after the other that gets you from point A to point B and then eventually falls apart and having to get another one. But at the time I met Megan, she was driving a used vehicle, but it was a reliable vehicle. She had a 2006 Hyundai Tucson, and it was really, really great. I mean, you really can't find them like that anymore. It had good ground clearance, good head clearance. It went great in really, really bad weather, and it lasted for almost 16 years. Now, unfortunately, at some point with these types of vehicles, you start throwing good money after bad. Especially in southwestern Pennsylvania weather when you have salt destroying your vehicle, mostly, and the weather and elements, everything else. After a while, it's a control arm here, an alternator there, muffler repair, brake line replacement, electrical, etc. It starts to be that instead of owning a payment, you own a repair bill. So it was after 16 years we started to have major issues with the Hyundai. Now, early on, she had an issue where the theft deterrent system would just short and began honking in the middle of the night for whatever reason. Well, her brother, being a mechanic and being a good mechanic for the past 16 years of that car, disconnected the theft deterrent system and it never became a problem again. However, the horn didn't work either. But it was that workaround, I believe, that caused a longer-term issue that resulted in replacing the alternator and a few batteries over time. As it was, we would never get, the battery to hold a charge. We replaced the battery and it would run good for a while and then it would drain. We'd check it out. The alternator was good. The battery would charge good, but it just wouldn't, something was draining it. And I think there was a short somewhere from that deterrent system. And that became the death knell for this car. Like I said, we would go out, we would jump it, drive it around, get the battery charged, and then after a week it would be dead again. Now, we know we couldn't use it as a trade because, well, with the house and all the other issues, a payment was out of the question. And buying a car outright was too, unfortunately. So it was time to send this car over the Rainbow Bridge. But how? The car had been sitting dormant in my driveway for a while. Now, after a few calls to a few places, we managed to find one that would take it for parts. But if they had to tow it from our location to theirs, it was less money. So we thought we would try some creative thinking and opted for a roadside assistance membership to tow it to that location. Now, the place was only open till Saturday, till 3 p.m. on a Saturday or Sunday, and the tow took longer than expected this past weekend, and not just because of the distance, but because the back wheels, I said, were frozen due to sitting for months. And it took longer to get it on the truck, dragging it, turning the wheel, dragging it, lather, rinse, repeat. After that ordeal, we managed to reach its destination, but it was 20 minutes after the gate closed. So now what do we do? Well, it turns out the location was 1.5 miles from my uncle's house. And through a sheer act of mad skills, physics, and persistence, the tow driver was able to unload that vehicle that wouldn't move under its own power due to the wheels being locked. And this meant we could drop it at my uncle's place, try again tomorrow, get it from my uncle's house to the location, which is only 1 mile away, before 3 p.m. on Sunday. And my family was gracious enough to allow us to leave the car there and possibly tear up the sod in the yard. In fact, it's the farm where my dad grew up, and the location between the farmhouse and my uncle's house was called the Strip. Where I don't know why they called it the Strip, but that's where many a vehicle went to die. But we actually wanted money for this one, so we weren't going to do that. Although that was probably going to be the secondary location if we couldn't get this to work. But the funny thing is that through all this, and after me apologizing, my family said this isn't the first time something like this had happened to them. Now, on Sunday, we drove up to the yard and made sure that they were open and that the car was still wanted. We then called roadside assistance and gave them all the info. Then it became a problem. "We can't tow it there," the dispatcher said. "It's against policy to tow to a salvage yard." I said, "Look, I know it says salvage yard on the sign, but it's also a U-Pull center, which means I can get the parts pulled from another vehicle to fix it. It just won't move under its own power, and somebody there could probably fix it." "Well, look, I'm going to have to turn you over to the local carrier, and they can explain the policy." "Look, no, I can explain." So the local dispatch sends someone out, and the process begins anew. Now, we tried charging the battery again and seeing if it would, go under its own power. And it did want to turn over. Because I figured if we could get that car started, the torque on the transmission would be enough to knock the rust loose, and we could just drive it to the yard and cancel the tow. Heck, we even tried spraying some starter fluid or ether into the air intake with no luck. Now, however, the tow driver was able to get there and drag it up under the bed and doing the exact same process the guy did before, just dragging it up onto the bed with, which was a lot easier in the softened earth than in my driveway. And then we were off. He goes, "All right, where are we headed?" I said, "It's about 1.5 miles up the road." And he kind of looked at me and said, "Oh, yeah, I'm not supposed to do that." Look, yeah, I heard the same thing, but look, it's a U-Pull center, which means if I can find parts to repair it, if possible, I have to have it there to do it because I can't drive it anywhere. "Are you trying to repair it?" I said, "Yeah, if I can." "Well, look, if anyone asks, your friend is there and he's going to repair it. Otherwise, I can't take it there. That's a policy." Like, I know. That's what I told them over the phone. It's a U-Pull center. They have, salvage parts there I can get probably to fix the car. Now, of course, none of this was, a lie. Possibly I could get those parts there. Possibly I could repair the vehicle. I mean, myself couldn't do it, but somebody there could have, or I could have had somebody go out there, pull the parts, and fix it in the parking lot, and it would have been fine. But I didn't want to do that. We all knew where this was headed. We just had to massage the truth a little bit. We had to lube the truth a little bit. So apparently, according to him, drivers aren't supposed to drop at a salvage yard because of a liability and insurance on the flatbed taking damage from possible metal objects in the tire, and they won't pay for them. However, further searching on the internet, there's information that talks about not being able to tow cars that are not street legal for whatever reason, whether it's because of a liability or theft or they were part of a crime scene, whatever. In any case, if you cannot drive your car because of the issues we had, it would not have been street legal anyways, and therefore it would have needed to be towed somewhere instead of driven. This is a whole chicken egg scenario, because if the car wouldn't have met inspection, and the only safely way to get it to a place to repair it to the point it would pass inspection, technically it wouldn't have been street legal then again, but still it would need to be handled that way. Now, they, of course, wanted to wash their hands of it and say, call a local tow center. Again, the semantics over what is a legal tow for roadside assistance is kind of ridiculous. We pay for the service. We get free tows every year. I mean, this falls underneath that, and we would, quite frankly, this is the last time we'd ever ask him to tow this car again. So, after some creative storytelling and careful alignment of said stories, the car was delivered, the title turned over, and payment received. Finally, after 2 days, this ordeal was over. It took up my entire weekend to do this because it's an hour and a half away from me. But remember how I said when I dropped the car off at my uncle's that this wasn't the first time something like this had happened to them? Well, I told you that story to tell you this one. It turns out that this day was also the 4th anniversary of my dad's passing. It's still a fresh thing, and every day I miss him and I miss having him to help solve my problems. Though I have continually spent my adult years trying to avoid him having to do so instead of being my own person and solving them myself. In any case, that man would have sooner had the car delivered by airship rather than what we went through to get it there. Now, everything I know of my father from childhood until about a year ago said that the man was a genius, innovative person, and a problem solver. But over time, the stories I've heard from my family members was a little bit different. You see, I regretted never learning anything from him, like doing basic repairs on a home or cars. And since cars seemed to be a big problem in my life, that would have been great to have had some of that instruction. I also lamented that my older brother, who knew how to do these things, got that connection with them. There's a 7-year difference between me and my brother, so my dad was already in his 30s by the time I was born. He was working hard, and we never saw him because he was always working, running around doing stuff to provide for us. But what I found out was that he, my brother, too, did not have those things taught to him by our father. He learned what he knew on his own, much like I have over the years. In fact, he told me, he's like, no, Dad never taught me anything. I mean, the only thing the man really ever taught me was to either, if I was going to have a heart attack, have it in my car so my car insurance would pay for the system. Yeah, I know. Or, he taught me how to ride a bike. So, that being said, the man, so I thought, was a genius. And was great at home repair. But in fact, my cousin and her husband took over the old office building my dad had his business in for their own, and they told me stories of how he had had that place wired, pulling up to 4 times the power off the line as the box was rated for. And that is hilarious. I mean, it created a huge problem, and the man was an insurance agent. So now as I stood there in my uncle's driveway watching the tow truck slide my wife's Hyundai across the yard, pulling up sod in the rain, with both back wheels locked, and apologizing immensely for putting everyone out and having to destroy someone's property while I tried to stomp down the sod, they both assured me that this was just a usual day. Yep. Anytime we'd see a truck coming up the road with a car in tow, we knew it was your dad. It was called getting Georged. Don't get me wrong, I miss my father immensely. Not going to lie. Every day I wish he was still here, and I'm thankful for the fact that he was with us for as many years as he was. And despite through all the pain and suffering he went through, he's still kind of my hero. So it's, it is what it is. But that's it. We killed the gobbler, and we're going to return to the vault and take care of things there. So see you in a second. Alrighty, everybody is back in, and I've already sent them back out for a new quest. We are kind of lacking in storage space, although it's not really that bad. It's 437 out of 480. That's not horrible. Let's go with the piped pistol. We're gonna get rid of that because we don't need that, even though we got it as a reward. I do want to hold on to the hardened ripper. That's a good thing. We still have the power fist. We have all these Gauss pistols and the assault patron hand and another ripper. There's a hard ripper and a regular ripper. So this is a funny thing. They're both considered rare items, but okay. So yeah, sure. They don't look that much difference. And there's a little plus 2 damage between the difference of them on the scope. So yeah, let's hold on to that for anything. Anything else I'll get rid of that we don't really need. We had 2 more people come in, I guess, from quests And we have to, well, yeah, we got some things going on here. Scrap these for things. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to open up our lunchboxes after we do some of this stuff. So, yeah, I did have some ghouls come in. I got 999 caps, no, 999,000 caps. They're working on a Dragon's Maw just because I had that. And they're working on, the Railroad Diner. So there's a lot of things happening that I started and we're in flight. So we can't really kick that out and do that one. What we can do, though, is we can open up. We have, unfortunately, there's not much to pull from. As you can see, I'm trying to get through that Horseman of the Post-Apocalypse to get the other Mr. Handy from the third part, but that's another like 6 or 7 quests away. And I did use up some Nuka-Cola coins. I could do that one. I'm not really worried about that at the moment. They can walk on their own power. I'm not going to get them running out there. This one here I might do just because I have the baseball bats, but not right now. But let's go through something real quick. So we have still some more recipes to unlock, and I don't know that those are going to be found on the existing quests. They may be found on the repeatable quests, which are Nuka-Cola Quantum Run or the Vault-Tec Experiment Review. We'll check that out next time. I'll let you know. I will try to remember to do that. Sometimes it can be, things get away from me and I forget about them. I hope not. To that end, if we happen to get more recipes on there, we will try to make some of those things, see how they work. Again, I don't see a lot of value in doing that unless you have because the one thing I have noticed is you don't have an ability to see how much damage you actually do versus how many hit points they actually have when they're invading the vault or when you're out on a quest, because they can change. They can change when you're out on a quest. So I don't know how effective it is to try to test those out and see which ones I like. If anybody knows, and of course, please always drop in the comments if you know a specific style of weapon, either melee or a bladed weapon or gun or whatever that works on specific items like a rad scorpion or a ghoul or a deathclaw, please let me know in the comments. That's great for everybody else to hear, and everybody's so great in putting tips and tricks in the comments, which is also wonderful. But we've got, let's go open up our 2 items. I think it's a lunchbox. Whoops, I'm hitting the wrong button. It's a lunchbox, 2 lunchboxes, because the Troiger or Toiger or whatever it was, and the dog we got on the last quest don't come in as pet. For some reason, didn't come in as a pet carrier. It came in as just we actually got it. Because you can see we have, as far as pets go, we have Ruby, Spike, Poppy, and then the Toiger. Where was the Toiger at? Yeah, this one here, 2.5 Stranger Chance. And I think it was Ruby? I think it was Ruby. This one I'm so convinced is one of the new ones. Still convinced on that. Anyways, let's go ahead and open up our 2 lunchboxes, see if anything cool there. Because, quite frankly, we might get some outfits from the holidays, which would be really nice if we did. But no, so far, we got caps, we got food, we got a teddy bear. Come on, give me something. Give me something. Incognito leisure wear. That's a new outfit that I believe is, like, I think Ed, whatever is the something, the tech guy or the developer guy, whatever, is wearing that. And caps. All right, come on, come on. Please give me something related to the holidays. That would be great. Pistol, stim pack, caps. Come on, teddy bear. And Stephen Owens, we got another dweller. Well, shoot. Let's go check out this guy. He's somewhere down here in this one of the training rooms, I believe. Still. Where are you at, mister? Hello? No, Jericho. Here you are. What do you got? You just have a greaser outfit. No, Craig Allen. That's not who he is. Where is he at? He should be here somewhere, shouldn't he? Did I already place him into a room? Jeez. Crap. Well, darn it. Darn it to heck. Alright. Hold on a second. Okay, his name was Craig Allen. That's what his name was. And I have no indication that he is a rare or Okay, yeah. I don't have any indication he is a rare or legendary dweller, and he's wearing a greaser outfit, so it's not the same thing. But let's look at that sucker. Incognito leisure wear. You get two on this charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck. That's pretty cool. What do you got right now with your greaser outfit? You've got a +2, +2, +1. Hey, you know what? Guess what? You're gonna wear the leisure suit. There you go. Look at that. And that's a legendary outfit. So I think that is probably part of the new stuff. Alrighty. Well, there you go. That's all we got happening. Let's close it out, and we'll come back next week. I hope you all enjoy your Thanksgiving. I hope you all enjoy whatever you do, and you have a safe and healthy holiday. And we will see you next time, and we'll do some more stuff, and we'll talk to you then. Have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.